Components are fundamental building blocks in Vue.js applications. They encapsulate reusable pieces of UI code, enabling you to modularize your application and maintain a clean, organized structure. Components promote code reusability, separation of concerns, and easier maintenance. Imagine building a large application like an e-commerce website. You might have components for product listings, shopping carts, checkout forms, and user profiles. Each component would encapsulate the specific UI elements and logic related to its function. Here's an example of a simple Vue component for displaying a product card. This component defines a reusable UI element for displaying product details, including an image, name, description, price, and an Add to Cart button. You can use this component multiple times throughout your application, passing in different product data to render each card dynamically. Components can be nested within each other to create more complex UI structures. They can also communicate with each other through props and events, allowing you to build interactive and data-driven applications. Here's an example of using the product card component in a page displaying multiple products. In this example, the product list component iterates over the products array, dynamically rendering a product card component for each product. Each product card component receives the corresponding product data through the product prop. Components are a powerful tool for building modular, maintainable, and scalable Vue.js applications. They promote code reuse, separation of concerns, and a clean architecture, making it easier to manage complex UI structures and interactions. Sure, here are some interview questions and answers for the topic of components in Vue.js. Q. What are components in Vue.js? A. Components are the fundamental building blocks of Vue.js applications. They represent reusable pieces of UI code that encapsulate specific functionality and presentation. Components promote modularity, separation of concerns, and maintainability, making it easier to build and manage large-scale applications. Q. What are the benefits of using components in Vue.js? A. Components offer several advantages. 1. Reusability. Components can be reused multiple times throughout the application, reducing code duplication and promoting consistency. 2. Separation of concerns. Components encapsulate specific functionality and presentation, separating the UI from the underlying logic and data. 3. Maintainability. Components make code easier to manage and update, as changes can be localized to specific components without affecting the entire application. 4. Scalability. Component-based architecture makes applications more scalable, as new components can be added and integrated seamlessly. Q. How do you define components in Vue.js? A. Components can be defined in two ways. 1. Inline components, defined directly within the template of the parent component. 2. Single file components, SFCs, separate files containing the template, script, and style for the component. SFCs are preferred for larger and more complex components. Q. What are props and events in Vue.js components? A. Props are data passed from parent components to child components, allowing communication between components and data flow. Events are emitted by child components to notify parent components of actions or changes, enabling interaction and data propagation. Q. How do you use props and events to communicate between components in Vue.js? A. Props are defined in the parent component's template and passed to the child component using attributes. Events are defined in the child component's script and emitted using the $emit method. Parent components can listen for events using the v-on directive. Q. What are slots and scoped slots in Vue.js components? A. Slots are placeholders in parent components that allow child components to provide content. Scoped slots enable communication of data from the parent component to the child component within the slot content. Q. What are some best practices for using components in Vue.js? A. Best practices for components include 1. Meaningful naming. Use descriptive names for components to reflect their purpose and functionality. 2. Single responsibility. Each component should have a single responsibility to maintain clarity and separation of concerns. 3. Prop validation. Validate props to ensure data integrity and prevent unexpected behavior. 4. Event handling. Handle events appropriately and avoid unnecessary data propagation. 5. Code reusability. Strive for high levels of code reusability to reduce duplication and promote consistency. 6. Testing. Implement comprehensive unit and integration tests to ensure component behavior and interactions. By following these best practices, you can effectively utilize components to create well-structured, maintainable, and scalable Vue.js applications.